Stop. Hey Google, good morning.
Good afternoon, CJ.
Wait, did you say afternoon?
It's 2:53 p.m.
The YouTuber life.
Right now in Gurgaon it's 34 and partly cloudy. Today it'll be partly cloudy with a forecast high of 35 and a low of 27. Due to the current humidity, it feels like it's 43. Your commute to work is currently 6 minutes with moderate traffic if you take San Felipe Marg and NH248A by car. Have a good one.
Hey guys, this is Clinton Jeff and today we're taking a look at the Google Nest Hub. The Google Nest Hub just launched in India. It was announced at Google I/O a couple months ago, but it's finally made its way here. It's kind of like a Google Home, but with a display, and that one small change makes a huge difference, turns out. Alright, I know this is not a phone, but as is usual, let's start with design. With a 7-inch LCD at the front, the Google Nest Hub is pretty tiny. I feel like this is a sweet spot for this kind of device. It's large enough to see information at a glance, but not so tiny that you have to really squint to see what's on that display, which is kind of an issue I have with my Echo Spot. It kind of just looks like Google stuck a 7-inch tablet onto a Google Home Mini, but hey, it looks great perched on a side table or a bedside table. At the front, you'll see that 7-inch 1024 by 600 pixel resolution screen, and you'll also notice two forward-facing microphone pinholes right over there. The Nest Hub's microphones hold up pretty well, and it understood my voice commands from across my living room with no issues at all. I mean, it could also hear me scream out orders from another room, which works pretty well as long as you keep those doors open. But more importantly, those microphones can also make out your voice over background noise or music playing, which is pretty important. I mean, of course, you will have to raise your voice quite a bit, but it works. You'll also see a tiny dot between the microphones, and this is not a camera. It's an ambient light sensor so that the display can adjust its brightness based on the lighting around it. Now granted, I do kind of wish it did have a camera though. I understand why Google didn't do it, seeing as all the drama that happened with Amazon when they put a camera on the Echo Spot. But I feel like putting a camera on this thing would have made it so much more convenient to quickly call up close friends or family, just to have like a quick visual catch up. I mean, I know my mom would have loved that. That being said, you can use the Nest Hub to make phone calls. Google Assistant will automatically voice match and recognize your voice, so it can find numbers from your phone's list of contacts and then dial the number. You can do this for both regular phone calls and video calls, but video calls are limited to Google Duo, and it will all take place on your phone since the Nest Hub doesn't have a camera. I should mention though that Google is working on a much larger version called the Nest Hub Max that will have a camera and a much larger 10-inch screen. But that hasn't been released anywhere yet, and the Nest Hub is a much more subtle option to have. Alright, talking about the display specifically, photos and videos look surprisingly crisp on that 7-inch screen, but that's also because of that ambient light sensor. The Nest Hub has this very cool feature called ambient EQ. Because of ambient EQ, the Nest Hub will gauge the light in the room and adjust the brightness and the warmth of the screen to match. This actually works really well, and as a result, photos and videos look pretty awesome on that screen. Now granted, it is a small screen, but it actually does work pretty well. Now I know what you're thinking, other smart displays can also automatically adjust their brightness based on the lighting around them. But the Nest Hub seems to do a much better job since it also adjusts based on color temperature. The sensor adapts pretty quickly, and you can test this out by switching off the light or moving the Google Nest Hub around. When the lights are switched off, the Nest Hub kinda looks like a tiny billboard. But of course, you can set it so that the display dims or switches off at night so it doesn't disturb you while you sleep. Likewise, you can customize the ambient mode of the Nest Hub using the Google Home app to show a variety of different clock faces, or you can choose from Google's collection of artwork, or you can even set it to show you cute personal pictures that Google will curate from live albums on Google Photos. Now of course, to use this feature, you actually have to be using Google Photos actively. Google Photos automatically sorts your pictures based on location and people. So you can set the Nest Hub to just show you cute pictures of your kids or of your loved ones or your cute boyfriend. And you can keep taking shots, and Google will automatically keep adding these new shots to the live album. And if it's in the live album, it'll be displayed on the Google Nest Hub. Google Photos does a pretty good job of curating the best photos and filtering out the bad out of focus or blurred photos. Coming to video, in some markets, Google bundles a 6-month subscription of YouTube Premium with the Nest Hub. But even if you don't have a YouTube Premium subscription, you can still watch YouTube videos on the Nest Hub. It obviously won't replace your TV or phone, but in case you're being lazy in bed and you want to catch up on the news, or you're making breakfast and you want to catch up on your favorite tech YouTuber, it's a pretty convenient thing to have. All you have to do is say, "Okay Google, play me the latest video by Clinton Jeff." Being able to quickly bring up YouTube videos can be a huge advantage for the Nest Hub series, depending on how you use it. You can of course also watch streaming videos from other services, like in India there's support for NDTV, Times of India, India Today, and many other news services. Now to be very clear, you can't watch Netflix or Amazon Prime on the Google Nest Hub yet, but I don't think I know anyone who wants to do that. But you can use a voice command to tell the Nest Hub to start up Netflix on your TV via a Chromecast or Android TV, theoretically, because your results might vary. Of course, coming to just music, there's plenty of options for listening to music on the Nest Hub. There's the obvious choice for YouTube Music, but you can also listen to music on Spotify, and in India there's support for Gaana, Saavn and Airtel's Wynk Music, and you can set any of these services as your default. In terms of music quality, you can use the Google Home app to customize the speaker equalizer settings if you want a little bit more bass or treble, or if you have multiple Google Assistant smart speakers like I do, you can add the Nest Hub to speaker groups. And if you aren't too happy with the speaker quality of the Nest Hub, you can also set another speaker as your default for music instead. Speaking of which, the sound quality on the Nest Hub is pretty okay. It won't really satisfy a big audiophile, but it's fine if you want some background music. It's not too loud or too crisp, so you can't really have a house party with this thing. And it's not quite as loud as the Amazon Echo Show, but it's more or less on par with Google Home Mini. Coming to the back, you will notice the stand that's coated in this kind of fabric, which is again very similar to the Google Home Mini. In some markets, Google has 4 colors for the fabric: charcoal, chalk, aqua and sand. But in some markets like India, they might only have the charcoal or chalk version. At the back, you also notice the switch that mutes the microphone, and you also see volume buttons, and that's about it. Anything else you want to do on the Nest Hub, you'll have to do either via a voice command or using the touchscreen. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about how it is to actually use the Google Nest Hub. Even though it's small in size, the Google Nest Hub can be incredibly useful in a lot of ways. The most obvious way, of course, is helping you manage your smart home. Turning off the lights in the living room while you're in the bedroom, checking your security camera. It's kind of a necessity at this point if you have a smart home. But it's also useful in other much simpler ways, like walking you through a really complicated recipe on how to make butter chicken, or catching you up on the news and telling you what's the weather gonna be like when you wake up in the morning. Google India also showed us a really cool interpreter mode, which can be really handy. There's also now support for routines, so if you say something like, "Okay Google, I'm home," then the Google Home will be able to follow a preset list of group commands like switching off the lights, switching on the TV, switching on the air conditioner and setting it to a certain temperature, all while telling you how the weather is going to be like tomorrow, or playing a playlist of music that you like. Of course, all of this depends on you actually having compatible equipment for it. And all of this comes down to the mighty Google Assistant. Once you plug it in, switch it on and connect it to your Wi-Fi, you can ask the Nest Hub any of the questions or set up any of the routines that you'd ask the original Google Home. Essentially, the Nest Hub is now a visual interface for you to use Google Assistant outside of your phone. And while I've been using Google Home for a while now, the addition of a screen really helps you unlock the full potential of Google Assistant. It makes great use of the touchscreen with helpful visuals after you ask a question. For example, if you search for local restaurants or cafes, it'll show you photos of places nearby. Or if you ask for the weather, it'll show you the forecast for the entire week. You can also interact with these right on the Nest Hub, and it'll send you more information like directions on a map to your phone. Of course, it works best with an Android phone, duh. But if you have an iPhone, it'll work just fine, provided you have the Google Assistant for iOS app installed. For one thing, while the original Google Home smart speaker was fine, the addition of a touchscreen also means that now you have a cute smart photo frame calmly displaying photos of your family, pets or other loved ones. So finally a good use for a digital photo frame, huh? Navigating the Nest Hub is also pretty easy. You can swipe right on the display to dismiss whatever's on screen and go back a page. You can also swipe up for quick settings like volume or brightness. And because I saw someone actually ask this question at the Google briefing, you can't install apps on the Google Nest Hub. There's also no web browser, so don't expect this to be like a tablet for your home. Swipe down and you'll get a smart home control panel which shows the status of your home, like how many lights are switched on or what's the current temperature if you have a thermostat. There's shortcuts for common tasks like switching off the lights, and you can also see the rooms that you've created and which rooms your devices are sorted into. You can do all of this from the Google Home app on your phone, which you will need to set up the Google Nest Hub. It also gives you more controls and settings to tinker with, including the ability to invite family members to your home so they can control things too. All in all, navigating the Google Nest Hub is pretty easy with handy visual panels that show up on screen as well. I should also point out that there's a new digital well-being section in the Google Home app, which allows parents to set filters on what videos and music can be streamed to the Google Nest Hub. This also allows you to set downtime hours in which the Google Nest Hub won't react to any voice commands and can only be used for alarms. Alright guys, it's time for the CJ verdict, and here we go. The smart display scene is definitely becoming very competitive right now. You have the Amazon Echo Show, you have Lenovo's Smart Display, and you also have Facebook's Portal displays as well. But the Google Nest Hub does stand out on its own thanks to the massive capabilities of Google Assistant. The Google Nest Hub is the perfect size, can display really cute photos thanks to Google Photos Live Albums feature, and has pretty decent sound quality as well, all while blending in really well in your home. I mean, as a smart display, it kinda checks all the right boxes. Honestly, if you're as big a fan of Google as I am, and you want to pursue a proper smart home, or if you just want a digital photo frame with smart speaker capabilities, the Google Nest Hub comes highly recommended. The combination of being able to understand voice commands with the touch controls available to assist as well means that even the most tech-phobic members of your family will probably get used to it. At the end of the day, the Google Nest Hub is a cute, useful gadget at a good value that will be a great addition to any smart home setup. Alright guys, so that's what I think of the Google Nest Hub. As always, if you guys have any questions about it, please let me know right in the comment section below, or you can just directly message me over on Instagram or Twitter at ClintonJeff. And as usual, don't forget to hit the like button or subscribe because that would be appreciated in case you like this video. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.